Before you even started or consider building a business, if I'm going to start all over again from my teenage years, I'm going to invest. What investment? I'm going to invest in real estate, invest in this business, raise the capital, or get a loan from a bank. No, I'm not talking about that, my friend. I'm talking about investment when it comes to your knowledge. You know the guru that says that, my Lamborghini around here, and then he says knowledge? That same person is the best guru in the world. Many consider him to be the guest guru. Even though he's kind of cringe, many people are still following despite of that meme. You know why? Because knowledge is very important. This man values knowledge, even though we don't completely know that meme guy. But because of his overvalue when it comes to knowledge rather than flexing, I can see that it's really true. Even if that man's statement is kind of cliche, it's actually true based on my experience. If I'm going to start all over again, I completely don't know what my passion is or where to start. So what do? I just learn. I just read books. If you don't know what type of business model you want to start, dropshipping, e-commerce, agency, freelancing, there's a lot of options. My recommendation is, if as young as you are, start on your habits first. Start on your self-improvement. Because if you start on your self-improvement, you begin to invest in that, then that creates a difference. That creates a difference where if you start on building habits first as a foundation on self-improvement, right? If you're struggling on that, that becomes a foundation. Before you even start the motivation or the building a business on top, I would do is I read books related to self-improvement. When I was young, I'm struggling with time management. I'm struggling with consistency. I was kind of disciplined, but it was kind of disciplined, not completely disciplined. So as a man, you have to understand that business is a responsibility and requires a lot of time management. And the way to overcome it or to survive the business, what you want to do is to invest in yourself so that when that business falls, you have a foundation. You already have yourself. You can always start any business that you want, any model of the business, because you already have developed the character and the knowledge and the experience of a businessman. Start reading books, and then after you read about Atomic Habits, which talks about building habits. And then the next one is Compounding Effect, which talks about consistency, and Deep Work, which talks about focusing. When you have those books and you apply them, and then you'll start with another interest that you like. Now, let's say those 3 books are very good foundation. Let's say you already have a foundation, you already applied it in your life, in your school, in your responsibility, in your work. After that, what you want to do is to think what topic do you want to learn. And after that, let's say you want marketing, you want to learn about marketing. Buy a book about marketing. But make sure that book is recommended by most social media influencers or in the internet out there. Because if you're going to buy a book, you must know what is the level of that book when it comes to your understanding. Is it easy to understand or is it hard? Does it have a lot of terminologies? When you're buying a book, make sure it's easy to understand for you because you're starting. Especially if you're in a different third world country or second world country or English is not your first language. For example, there are terminologies like traffics or leads. Are you familiar with that? If not, there's a lot of books that explain this very easy, and there's a lot of books dedicated for second or expert level marketeer, even though they said this is for beginners. You have to do your research then. Or after investing in your learnings and your education, not only in the university, it really changed my life. Because when I began to read books, I began excelling in academics. I began understanding the world itself. I began more practical. I began more focusing on realities. I began more expanding my mind. I don't know a scientific explanation about that, but I became more smarter, my man. So as young as you are, if I'm going to restart my business, I'll start reading books. I start learning about habits, being broader general, so that when I am decided to try another business model and it failed, try another business model and it failed, I still have myself. And what is that? Learning about the basic fundamentals of discipline. I get the deep work and the basic of marketing. Marketing is very important. If you want to buy a book about it, don't read about ads marketing or advertise marketing, Facebook marketing, Google marketing. Those platforms either is going to fail or in the future or not. It's either way. They always change their algorithms. Those platforms always change. And there's a lot of emerging platforms like TikTok. I don't really recommend you learning about those. Learn about the basic fundamentals. What I mean by basic fundamentals, a topic about marketing where you can apply in any business model, in any, whether it's physical or online. It's something that you can apply to in every business model like e-commerce, Amazon, Shopee, real estate, or you can apply it in an agency or marketing your services or marketing your products of your family. Basically, it's broad and it's applicable to anything. So I really recommend you to start. Even if you're young, I'm assuming that you don't really know what you want, or it will change eventually in the future. You start on broad books, you start from general, and then once you discover a little bit about your passion, then you gotta narrow it down.